Hey everybody, I'm your host, DarkEvil87, aka Bob, and you're watching a Let's Play of the classic The Legend of Zelda for the good old Nintendo Entertainment System. And it was originally released on February 21st, 1986 in Japan on the Famicom Disk System as Zelda no Densetsu, The Legend of Zelda. Many years ago, Prince Darkness Ganon with two ends stole one of the Triforce with power. Princess Zelda had one of the Triforce with wisdom. She divided it into 8 units to hide it from Ganon before she was captured. Go find the 8 units link to save her. The obvious question here is, what the fuck is a Triforce? Only in due time, my friend, only in due time. But here you can see a list of all the treasures you will find in the game, and this is quite a lot if you consider that the game is over 20 years old. In fact, yeah, it's older than me if you count the Japanese release. Just a bit older. I'm an old man, balding, arthritis is settling in. Enjoy your youth while you can, kids. The obvious thing missing here, well, missing. It's only missing if you've played the later games, but there's no hookshot in this game. There are less platforming elements than the 3D games, obviously. Please look up the manual for details. Fuck that, man, I don't have time to read, I'm an old man, I'm dying here. So, instead of reading, because fuck that, you know, let's create the character. I'm calling him Link, because you all know this is the name of the hero of Hyrule in these games. Even though this one has no default name for him, they still call him Link in the manual, so it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Thanks, I guess. Creepy old man in a cave who might or might not be a pervert. I mean, is giving a sword the middle-aged equivalent of giving candies to young kids, or what? As you can see while I'm fighting these enemies, Link is throwing his sword at them. Don't ask me to explain how he can do that and still have his sword in his hands, other than magic, I guess. Magic, it works, bitches. But yeah, it's the sword beam, and Link can usually only do that while he's at full health in most games. So I'm sure you've all seen this before at least once. Well, that is unless you've only played the 3D games of the series, in which the move has never really appeared as far as I'm aware. At least it's not in its usual form. Though I hear you can expect it to make an appearance at Skyward Sword, so be excited for that, I guess. Oh, and here's our first blue variant of a previous enemy. Well, now I've killed him, but it's just a palette swap of the same enemy in red. In this game, blue is stronger than red, so the age-old battle is now settled. I'm more of a red guy personally, but yeah, the palette swap technique is old and it was very common back then to save storage space. You can still see it sometimes. Here we are in the first dungeon, which I might remind you was inside of a tree. Yeah. Good old bats.
Riddle me this. What kind of a man has bats on the brain?
No, actually they're called keys, and now I've just got a key because I've killed the enemies in the room. Don't confuse key and keys. The bats are a common recurring enemy in the series, and they're usually very annoying, though not pretty strong or enduring. And because nothing is named right in the series, these skeletons here, they're called Stalfos. Don't ask me why. If you want to know something, I actually know keys comes from Greek mythology. Some kind of vampire monsters before we even had vampires. I mean in fiction, of course, not in real life. Thanks to my key, I can now explore this room with Stalfos. Collect a heart. Oh, I do wonder if he eats them or puts them in his pocket. We never had much details in these old games. More Stalfos. It's not like they're gonna kill me, they're freaking skeletons and they don't even have muscles. Yeah, all the skeletons move actually. Magic, once again? They do remind me of movies I watched as a kid, like Jason and the Argonauts, with the stop-motion skeletons. That was awesome back then and cheesy, but I like it more than CG for some reason. And as you can see, I just got the compass. It's used to show you where the Triforce is located on the map in the upper left corner. It's not like in, let's say, Ocarina of Time, where you could see where the treasures were located. Keys, because we've never got enough of them. As you can see, I'm currently trapped in the room, and often in the series, killing enemies is a good thing because it allows you to get some treasures or pursue the game. Since I have a key, I go up and I meet shells. They're easy enemies. Pushing a block is also something you will often have to do in the series. Eastmost Peninsula is the secret. It's the deal with two ends and words that don't need them. And what a hint that was! More chills, and also there's a map there. Let me kill the little bastards first. Okay, now that's settled. Okay, now we have in the upper left corner. That's the whole dungeon you can see, and with the boss room usually next to the red flashing thing. It's not a very big one, they all have strange shapes like that, and they're all supposed to represent something actually, as best as they can with this limited technology. This one, for instance, has the design of an eagle. Not sure if you can see that. I can actually, but I was used to playing Atari 2600 games when I was young, so you had to have an imagination back then. Well, yeah, some people might find these moving things tricky, but they're not. You just get in their way, get out, and let them retract and go at it while they're retracting. Now we push the block in the middle to get to the stairs, and our first treasure, a bow! Of course, it's a bow without any arrows, so it's pretty useless right now. It's like a gun without bullets, or a peanut... forget that, actually. When I said the first treasure, I was not forced to pick that one first, and I was not even forced to do this dungeon NSU. Anyway, I was not forced to do this dungeon first because you can do the game in an irregular order. Some people even finish it without getting the sword, which is pretty amazing. Let me just beat these gorillas, which are, I guess, gorillas, except that they throw boomerangs, which makes them less frightening actually. And now I get my own boomerang to stun enemies. Well, actually, it can kill the lesser enemies. Oh shit. Those are wall masters, and if you've played Zelda, you know them. They're fucking evil. They can throw you back to the beginning of the dungeon if they catch you, so don't let them catch you. You know, they might be evil, but at least it's an original enemy, and I can respect that. You might have heard a noise just now. That's because we were in Square Room next to the Square Room with the boss. That's right, our very first boss, Aquamentus. A dragon unicorn who shoots fireballs or something. He's not a hard boss by any means, just concentrate your attacks on his head, which might be a little tougher if you don't have full health and the sword beam that comes with it. Beating him, just like any boss, grants you an extra heart container in the room after that as a fragment of the legendary Triforce, which will transport Link out of the dungeon because magic? And thus ends the very first dungeon. 8 more to go, including the very huge, I mean huge, last dungeon of the game.